Hi, I'm going to ask you a question. It could lead to a discovery that may transform your life. Why are we educated only to understand the world around us and not ourselves? Why are we not taught how to be emotionally healthy, or the art of happy relationships without conflict, or how to live a life of inner peace without stress? After all, these things are really important. My name is Manoj Krishna, and in this video I'm going to speak about self-awareness, which leads to emotional intelligence, and how our lives can be transformed by understanding ourselves and how our minds work. This video and the accompanying book, Understanding Me, Understanding You, are part of a project by the Symbiosis Center for Healthcare to improve the well-being of its students and staff. Let me give you 4 really important reasons to understand yourself and how your mind works. Reason 1, to be healthy. We know to be physically healthy, we need to exercise and eat the right food. But what do we do to look after our emotional health? It is estimated that 1 in 4 of us will experience a mental health problem every year. And more than half of our medical problems are linked in some way to our emotional distress. Self-awareness leads to emotional intelligence, which in turn leads to emotional health. This allows us to prepare for and meet life's challenges without getting stressed. Reason 2, to be happy. To be happy, we need to have happy relationships and understand others. The best way of doing that is to understand ourselves, because our minds work in similar ways. Let me give you an example. All of us have many hidden psychological needs which we expect other people to meet. These include a need to be understood and loved and feel important and have physical affection and so on. When these needs are not met, we can get hurt and blame the other person for hurting us. If we are not aware of this process going on in the background, our relationships can quickly end in disappointment and conflict. Reason 3 is to be successful. All employers value emotional intelligence. If we want to be successful, we have to get on with the people we work with and understand them. And again, the best way of doing that is to understand ourselves. We also need emotional resilience, clarity of thinking, and an ability to understand and overcome our fears. Reason 4 is to solve our many problems. Many of our problems and the problems in the world we see outside first begin in the human mind. So the solution must also begin there by understanding how it works. These problems include climate change, relationship breakdown, drug addiction, and the wars in the world. We think they're all separate, but they're not, because they all begin in the human mind. Now, when we talk about self-awareness, we usually focus on the content of our memory and our personal experiences. It is perhaps far more important to understand how our minds work behind the screen of our awareness. This is the same in all human beings. This is an important difference to understand. After all, we all experience the same emotions. Though the cause of fear in you and in me may be different, the experience of fear, the mechanism behind it, and the way it impacts our life is the same, so we can study it together. In the light of this understanding, many of our problems can dissolve. We can discover how to live with a sense of inner peace. The beauty of this approach is that it requires no authority figure, no new belief system, and no set of rules to follow. All we need to do is understand ourselves, and change can occur without effort. Consider the example of conditioning, which is a process by which all our past experiences are stored in our memory and then influence our thoughts and our actions. We are conditioned by our parents, the media, and the society we live in. Our conditioning affects every aspect of our life, including our opinions, our religious beliefs, our relationships, and our career choices. We never question it because we're not aware of this process going on in the background. For example, we don't see the link between our opinions and something we may have read 2 weeks ago, or between our fears and our past experiences. Understanding our conditioning allows us to question it and live freshly in the present. We can also live with a sense of compassion because we can see that the behavior of others is influenced by their conditioning and we are exactly the same. So, how do we begin this journey of inquiry? It's actually very simple. Just as we would watch a bird fly across the sky, just watching it, we can observe our thoughts and feelings as they rise in us and then question what lies behind them. For example, we may notice that we listen really poorly in a conversation and ask why that is. Or we may notice a need to feel important and to be recognized and ask what lies behind that. These questions open the door to new discoveries about ourselves. There are 4 really important principles to keep in mind on this journey of inquiry. The first is that we need to be honest with ourselves and accept what we find when we look within. The second is to study the facts and not label them as good and bad and keep our opinions about the facts separate. For example, the fact may be that we are ambitious, but our opinion may be that it's important for our success. Studying the facts can bring us together and also result in real change without effort. The third principle to understand is that we all have a fear of change. We are attached to all our opinions and our beliefs, and this blocks any meaningful inquiry. And lastly, it's important to realize that this understanding cannot be given to us by another, and we need to discover it for ourselves. After all, you can read a guidebook about Rome, but it's not the same as going there yourself. I hope you will be inspired to begin your own journey of inquiry and discuss all this with your friends. This understanding will not only transform your own life, but also lead to a better world. To find out more, please visit the Human Inquiry Project website at humaninquiry.com. Thank you for listening.